Hey everybody, I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and I've got Kevin Chandler in the house.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Normally we do our show on Thursday, but StreamYard was down. So we decided to do it today or this evening. And earlier on in the evening, I was supposed to do Aloha Oracle, but I figured that you and I were doing this show tonight live, so everybody can just tune in here.
There you go.
Just housekeeping real quick. I'm not going to be here on Thursday, this coming Thursday, because we have to go to Nebraska for Gary's high school graduation. Let's see how that goes. We could do a reading on that one. Okay, but
Right.
leaving Thursday, we'll be back on Saturday. So the following week, then it's my turn to be on Kevin's show. So welcome to the Kevin and Mel show. And the other thing is we do have openings for our event in Chicago at the end of September. So if you're interested, you can call my office at the number listed below. And we'll send you the information. Everybody, please subscribe to Kevin's channel. Hit that thumbs up, go to his channel, hit the thumbs up, and hit that notification bell.
Oh, well, thanks. If you're watching from my channel, go over to Mel's channel and subscribe. We really appreciate
it. And subscribe. All right.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm taking memberships as well. And so members will get discounts on special events, sessions, readings, things like that. And I've reached 23,000.
Oh, awesome.
Members. So when I get back, I will give away the 3 free sessions. So
awesome, Mel.
2 of which will go to my members and 1 of which will go to everybody else out there. Or maybe I'll just do 2 and 2. I don't know. But everybody will, you know, at least 3 or 4 free sessions. So
awesome.
All right. So Kevin, what's going on, buddy? What's coming
up
for you?
Not a whole lot. I did a reading with Lori from the Way of Positive Change earlier today, which was fun. I haven't watched a lot of the news personally, so I'm sure most of the questions I had earlier today are what people want to know about as the hush money trial. Oh, I was going to ask, I just want to, can I just take a moment just to send like a healing request for one of my semi-regular clients, somebody from our community, her name's Sheila. She just found out that she has stage 4 oral cancer, and she's having a surgery coming up, but obviously very shocked and scared from that. So
where is her oral cancer? I know it's in the mouth, but where at in the mouth?
I didn't ask, but I said that I would send her some healing energy and ask everybody to send her some prayers and, you know, ask for the most benevolent outcomes for her illness and for her surgery. So
okay. Christy Cochran asked, how do you get it entered for Mel's free reading? You just did. You put a comment in the comment section, so that adds your name.
Oh, there you go.
But subscribe to the channel, of course. Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to the healing vibration for, what's her name again?
Sheila.
Sheila?
And everybody in the community is so wonderful with coming together and sending a lot of healing.
She's a client, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, everybody please send her healing. You know what, Kevin? Have her call me, 847-590-5411, and set up a session. I'll do it free. I made a promise when I had oropharyngeal cancer that anybody going through it, I would tell them about my experience and coach them through theirs.
Yeah, that's cool.
A stage 4 with oropharyngeal cancer doesn't have to be a death sentence. Jeffrey Stein just went through his surgery. He had a piece of his tongue removed and they put a graft on. And I've been texting him. I spoke to him the other day. And, you know, he's on this side of the surgery and he's doing really well. And so he's so thankful that everybody in the community sent the healing energy, and keep sending it to him, everybody, please.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Sheila, if you're watching, call my office, 847-590-5411, and set up a session. When is her surgery? Do you know, Kevin?
I don't know.
Okay. Can you share her last name or no?
I don't. It's not coming.
If you don't know it, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. She'll know what to do. Call my office.
I'll send her an email, but that's very generous. Thank you, Mel.
Well, here, this is my for oral cancer awareness. No one
Oh,
fights alone. In
I love
fact,
that.
I'm going to put it on for Sheila right now. So, Sheila, I know it's frightening, and I know you hear the word stage 4, but I'm going to share with you, and I've shared it a million times when I had oral cancer. It came from my guides. Don't let the fear stand in front of you and hold you back. Let it get behind you and push you forward.
Oh, I love that.
You have all of us rooting for you. And I am convinced that the healing energy that everybody sent me caused my recovery to be a lot faster and kept the cancer from spreading. So
Absolutely.
um, thanks for sharing that, Kevin.
Yeah, of course.
All
And
right.
thanks everybody for all the wonderful prayers and healing energy. Really appreciate that.
All right. So you're starring, right, Kevin?
I've starred quite a few. If you we're reading politics and current events, so if you have a question you'd like us to read on, send it in the chat, all caps with a couple heart emojis, and we'll get to as many as possible.
Okay. All right. So having that in mind, there's some things I want to talk about real quick that was on
Yeah.
today that, my guides had told me this, and it came to pass that that the leader of Hamas, I think, I can't pronounce his name, or
Mhm.
Yaha or whatever his name is. I'm sorry, but that he would be, he and Netanyahu would be, uh, they would have a warrant for their arrest for war crimes.
Mhm.
So the head of Hamas today and somebody else in Hamas, and also Netanyahu, the International Criminal Court uh, put out warrants for their arrest, and also the defense minister of Israel, but also I think Hamas's guy second in command as
Mhm.
well, and the guy in command. So they're warrants from the International Criminal Court against their arrest for war crimes. What Hamas did, and then what Netanyahu's doing now. So,
Mhm.
it would be interesting to see how both parties try to skate around it.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel Netanyahu going down. And to me, I was feeling like around the month of August, maybe September. So a few months away. But I did feel like his plan offensive into was Rafah. I didn't feel very good about the energy around that. Like he was going to do something stupid, but I felt like people were going to really have enough and push him out. But I agree. I feel war crimes for him too.
well, when Israel was attacked, it was planned by Iran and by Putin. They were behind it.
Hmm.
Right? Everybody knows that. And Israel had the right to defend themselves and to strike back. And I
Hmm.
support that. But when Netanyahu had it under control, he should have stopped then. He told
Right.
people to go to Rafah, and they went, and now there's no place for them to go. Hamas, on the Gaza Strip went in and took innocent people out of their beds. They killed innocent people. They did all kinds of horrible, horrible things. So Israel had the right to retaliate, but at some point, that retaliation stops. And now innocent people are dying, and it's not right.
Yeah.
And Putin the International Criminal Court has also issued a warrant for his arrest.
Hmm.
I mean, so if he ever leaves Russia and goes somewhere where they can get him, they will.
Well, right. Well, and that's the thing is, Putin's in control and in power and Russia. He's not going to put himself in a situation to, you know, be tried or arrested. And it's the same thing with the terrorist group Hamas. But I do feel Netanyahu not being able to get away with it. So,
I put up a comment by Jeffrey Stein. He says, "Thank
oh,
you,
thank
Mel. If
you,
Sheila
Jeffrey.
needs any support, I just had my surgery and she can reach out to me." Thanks,
Mm,
Jeff.
yeah, sweet.
Um, okay. Let's see here. Okay, are we ready to get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
Let me just start one more. Oh, and by the way, I know what I want to touch on too, real quick. What about that helicopter accident in Iran where the president was killed, and I think
Hmm.
a couple members of his cabinet. So people are wondering if it's foul play. And I don't think so. I
I
just
wasn't
think the
picking that up either.
helicopters are so old. They have to pirate parts, and they get parts like that are pirated as well. So,
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know,
I said
I,
that earlier too. It felt like it was a mechanical error to me.
right. So
I
that's
was actually being pulled up to like the propeller or something being off of the propeller is the
right.
first thing that came to my mind. But I do, however, think that Iran may use it to their advantage to further escalate things. That's what I
Oh,
was
they're
thinking.
already saying that they're suspecting criminal activity or whatever.
No, of course they are.
The other thing that happened, which I find interesting, is that Martin, in German, it's hard to say, it's pronounced Grunberg.
Mm.
In English, I think we say Groenberg, but it's Grunberg.
Okay.
He is the head of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and he is stepping down amid accusations of him being engaged in sexual harassment, discrimination, and bullying.
Hmm.
And what Grunberg said was that he'd wait until they appointed somebody to take his position. He'd step down. Republican Tim Scott has got a lot of room to talk because
Hmm.
he's on the Senate Banking Committee. He slammed Grunberg's decision not to resign immediately, as well as the Democrats grabbed this one for not putting enough pressure on him to do so. And I thought to myself, excuse me, Timmy, your own candidate is now standing trial for criminal behavior, and he's got 4 court cases coming, and you guys don't say a word to him
Right.
or Matt Gaetz or Marjorie Taylor Greene or all the other
Well, why
goofs.
would he? He's got his head so far up Trump's ass, kissing to be the VP. I mean, he's not going to do that.
Exactly. So the hypocrisy of that just blows me away.
It's crazy.
I like
But
this.
nothing surprises me with this Republican Party anyway. Isn't it all
Well, at least with the
hypocrisy?
MAGAs, you know.
Right. Well,
All
no,
right.
even the other Republicans. Mitt Romney just came out and said Biden should pardon Trump. And if he was president, he would pardon him. So even the good ones, it's like I'm so sick of it.
You know what? If Trump gets a pardon, then everybody else should get a pardon.
Exactly. Not
Okay.
going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Okay. Marie Intranuovo said, hello, Mel and Kevin. Cohen today said on the stand that he has been thinking of running for Congress. Will he run? Well, if he ran, he'd probably win because all of the other crooks are winning.
I feel like he might run. I don't think he's going to win.
Well,
That's how I feel with it.
Well, the MAGAs would have a field day with that. Oh, he's a convicted felon. He's a crook.
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. Well, hello. Your presidential candidate is under indictment for all these criminal charges. He ain't saying a word about him.
Right.
I find it, the hypocrisy blows me away. If he
Yeah.
runs, he won't win. You're right. I don't see it happening.
I see him doing more books and continuing with like the podcasting stuff. That's where I can see
He's
him.
making a lot of money on doing that stuff,
Yeah.
which I disagree with, by the way, but oh well.
Mm.
Okay. Absolute politics. I like that. When will the verdict be delivered in Trump's hush money case? What do you think, Kevin?
I wrote on it earlier today. I felt like it. Lori felt like it would be. Somebody asked if it was in the end of May. Lori got a yes. I got a huge no with the pendulum. I felt like early June. I don't. Well, and next week would be like the end of May. I kind of feel like it may go out into the following week before the verdict's delivered. I was picking up it might take like 2 days for the verdict to be delivered. Didn't feel like it was super quick, but also not super long.
This is a good one by Cynthia. So I want to put this up because it leads to another question.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia says, boy, do you have a lot to talk about today. Costello got Cohen to admit he stole $30,000 from Trump. What will that outcome be? So I was just writing down a question. Will that be enough to create reasonable doubt with the jury about Cohen's?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, and then you have the other thing too of like the whole phone call that was 90 seconds long, and he was texting Trump's lawyer about something else. So they were trying to discredit him by saying that, did you talk about this and talk to Trump about the hush money? Um, but I feel like the jury really did not view the defense as doing a very good job. I feel like they were kind of over it. And at the end of the day, you don't even really need Cohen's testimony. It's more to kind of corroborate everything else that they've already given the jury. They've already kind of given all the evidence, even if he's not, the most trustworthy witness. So I don't see it being an issue.
Even if it's a hung jury, and I doubt that it will be, but if it is, I see another trial coming quickly, and Trump will be guilty either way, my guides say. I'm not saying there will be
Mhm.
a hung jury, but I keep hearing him that he's going to be found guilty.
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay. Well, I mean, they'll issue the guilty verdict as soon as the jury deliberates. I think
Mm,
what everybody's picking up on is how long will it take for sentencing to happen? Because then they'll probably
yeah.
hear arguments on that.
Well, and also too, I also kind of wonder if, because I do feel like there might be a female jury um, that gives some issues and then eventually comes around. I was picking up a female energy, kind of delaying things or second guessing things. But then also too, when it comes to sentencing, do they sentence him on felonies, or are they able to prove that, or do they go more towards a misdemeanor?
I think they're mostly felonies. I hear felonies,
You feel felonies, yeah.
right? Um, I didn't hear that. How did Costello get Cohen to admit that Cohen stole 30,000? Did he
I
say
think
he
he asked
stole it?
him.
I'm sorry.
He asked him if he took it, and Cohen didn't lie. He said he did take money from Trump for it.
Okay, but was it money that was promised to him? See, that would be the questions I would
Hmm.
want to know if I were a juror. Um, but I don't know if the prosecution has done their cross examination. But I'm sure in closing arguments they'll bring that up.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah,
really think that the prosecution is going to do a slam dunk job on closing arguments. They're
I
going to
do
be,
too. I do too. And
Trump
it
scored a few wins, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and just to correct the question, Costello was the witness the defense brought in today that made an ass out of himself. Um, I don't remember. Blanche was the one that got Cohen to admit he took money from Trump for it.
So what happened with Costello? You told me before, but I didn't hear it. Well, you told me, but I think people might be interested who haven't heard it. What happened?
He had an attitude and was went in super aggressive. It's like everybody was expecting Cohen to kind of lose his temper, and he was restrained and calm, cool, calm, collected. And then the defense brings in one witness, and he just made a total ass out of himself. Was giving the judge attitude, and so I guess the judge kicked the jury out of the room and scolded him.
I love this judge. He is
Hmm.
not giving them any leeway for a mistrial whatsoever. This judge
Hmm.
is amazing. And my guides had told me that this judge will be no nonsense. And I really like this judge. He's a good judge. I
I
don't think
agree.
this is going to hurt his career at all. I think it'll help it. Okay. All right. HC says, hello, Mel and Kevin. Can you see another pandemic coming caused by the bird flu that one astrologer and psychic is predicting?
I don't feel that, but also I just said it earlier. I don't like reading on what other people are predicting. All I can give you is what I'm picking up, and I don't want to discredit anybody else or compete with other people. I would take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. But I'm not picking up another pandemic in the near future. No,
Yeah, I'm like you. I don't like to read on what other psychics or astrologers say. I just go on.
it's not our prediction. It's their prediction.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's exactly what it is. It's a prediction. So
And sometimes when we do shows, you and I have done this, we can respectfully agree to disagree.
right,
And it's happened with Linda, it's happened with all of us. Do I see another pandemic? No.
no,
Not like
not like
COVID.
the pan.
No.
Yeah.
Bird flu doesn't scare me that much. Um, it just doesn't. I mean, if the Republicans were in office, their remedy for bird flu would be to bomb the Canary Islands.
Mm.
It was a joke. It was a bad joke I just made. It was
Sorry,
like,
Mom. I'm trying to juggle what you're saying and starring in the chat. So
okay. Um, when George Bush was president, when the bird flu happened and he was like doing the whole war thing in the Middle East and in Afghanistan. And they said, what was George Bush's solution to bird flu? And the answer was bomb the Canary Islands. It was a
No,
joke.
I got you.
That's where I got it. Okay. I don't see it as becoming a pandemic. I see it maybe
No, I
for
don't.
birds, but I see it being curbed before it gets to that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, another one.
Oh, we just
Hello,
read
Mel and
that.
Kevin. Can you see another pandemic coming that is worse than the coronavirus? Oh,
No, we just read
we
that.
just answered that. Okay, sorry about that. Debbie Smith, will the clearing of the courtroom hurt the defense or prosecutor?
Oh, it's going to hurt the defense
It's
for
going to hurt
sure.
the defense. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
Costello, like you said, I didn't see it, but I am sure he made a complete what out of himself in court. And that is not going to look good. That's not going to look good for the defense because this is the only witness.
Mm-hmm.
And my feeling is that the prosecutors are going to tear him a new one on
Oh, yeah.
cross-examination.
Well, they were already starting the cross-examination, I think. I don't know if they finished it or not.
And putting Trump on the stand would be the worst move they could make.
Do you feel he's going to go on the stand?
I think he's pushing them to put him on the stand because what would he would
His
do?
attorneys aren't going to allow it.
What he would do is try to make it a political circus. But the judge would say, no, you can't make it like a political campaign. You have to stick to the facts of this case. Judge Marchand will not put up with that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it, although I feel like Trump would definitely do it, but his attorneys won't allow him.
We all know that Trump's cronies got in touch with those politicians who want to be vice president, had them come to the courtroom to talk crap about, the judge, the judge's daughter, the jury. But it's going to come out that Trump's people got to those people and trace it back up to Trump. That's going to come out. You watch. My guides told me.
Of course. It's obvious, isn't it?
Well, it's obvious, but do they have the proof? I see two people coming forward that will that say, in fact, that Trump did direct his people to tell those politicians what to say, which I think is illegal because it's breaking the gag order, but it's also tampering with the trial.
Right. No, I hear you.
He's going to be
another thing I'll say though too about. I don't think the defense is going to be viewed very good. All they did was try to discredit Michael Cohen. They didn't, even when they were presenting their part of the case, they did nothing to address the actual crimes of the matter. It was all to deflect and to show that, Michael Cohen isn't trustworthy and that he shouldn't be on there. So they really didn't do anything. They just made an ass out of themselves.
Deceive, divert, detract, distract, divide, destroy, and be duplicitous are D's.
Right. Who duplicitous?
Duplicitous. That's right. That's hard to say. Whatever. All right. Well, I think what the defense is trying to do is just create a reasonable doubt with, all they have to do is create a reasonable doubt with one juror. But it's like, I agree that there might be one or two that we don't know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I see him being found guilty.
Yeah, me too.
Hi, Clarence. Good question. Will Pride Month be safe this year? Depends on where.
Yeah, I'm feeling like overall it will be safe.
I think it'll be safe. I said it'll be safe here in Chicago. And so I do think there will be some acts of violence, but unfortunately some hate crimes. But I do see a plot overturned that some ultra right wingers are going to try to disrupt some gay pride stuff, but it won't work. It'll be thwarted. So, all right, this is a real
question.
Yep, go ahead. I don't care. Go ahead.
I just started this one. Mercury Angel says, what happened to Trump this weekend when he froze for 30 seconds? Yeah, he had a rally and almost fell off the podium. And then he froze for 30 seconds and didn't say anything, but his face didn't freeze. I'm not picking up that it was like a mini stroke like McConnell. Although I feel like he's got to be careful of his stroke. I kind of was feeling like the teleprompter, there was an issue with that, and so they were trying to get that.
I think he had well, did the look on his face go blank?
No, he was moving his head. He was still moving around.
I think you're right. It was the teleprompter, and I think he had a senior moment and forgot where he was.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been something tiny that was vascular, but I don't know if it'd be on the order of a TIA, transient ischemic attack, but some sort of
Right.
little vascular thing happened. But I think you're right. It was, um, the teleprompter probably glitched or something.
Mm-hmm. And they took a little bit for him to fix it, but yeah, I wasn't feeling like it was a stroke.
That's a good
He's got to
question.
be careful of that, though.
All right. A
Mhm.
sweetie pie says, so much talk about black voters for Trump who were for Biden. Will this be an issue?
I'm not picking it up to be a major issue.
I don't even see that talk is true. I mean, there might be a few African American voters for.
I feel like there are some African American men that are more so for Trump than what were for Biden, but I feel like it's very, very small.
It's very few. I mean,
It might not be right now, but come voting time, I don't see it playing a
like,
major factor.
and the people are worried about like a lot of the Latin people will vote for Trump. That's not going to happen.
Hmm.
A few maybe, but I still see Biden is going to have the minority vote, the majority of the minority vote, and women. He's going to get a lot of women votes too. So
Yeah, well, and that's what I think. I think the women vote and the young. I do feel like there's young women and women that maybe some of them it's their first time voting or they're not regular voters. I see them coming out and voting um, for women's rights and
so
voting
do I.
Democratic. So
Okay,
I think it'll more than make up for it.
Earth Mama, I like that name.
Mhm.
Will the women of Iran be better off without the past president who died in the helicopter crash? Well,
I
go ahead. Go ahead,
Good.
Kevin. You go first.
Well, I was going to say I said it earlier today. I picked up that there is going to be a bit of a revolution in Iran, but I don't feel like it's right away. It's going to take some time for that to happen still too before there's a regime change and it's more democratic. So I see it being a bit tough in Iran for the next few years, but eventually in the next couple of years, I feel like change is really starting to happen.
Well, I saw on CNN today that there were people like mourning in the street and some women crying and whatever, whatever. But I
Mhm.
am sure that the powers that be arranged that for people that they knew that were loyal to the Iranian president. Just like Trump, like pays people to attend some of his rallies, right?
Mm.
I'm sure there are people that support the Iranian president in Iran, but I think a big percentage of the people are tired of the theocracy. Women are
Oh, of
tired
course.
of all the way have to wear all of that stuff, and so I think you're right. My guides have been showing me for a long, long time that the people in Iran would stand up and fight and protest, especially the women. And at some point, I see an end to the theocracy there.
Yeah. I feel like it's a couple years away still, though.
But you know what amazes me? People here talk about the theocracies in the Middle East, but yet the ultra right wing so called Christian nationalists here would want the same thing. They're trying to make
Right.
this country a theocracy, but it won't work.
Mm.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Leslie Harris. My friend Sam, Northern California, is going to have deep brain stimulation surgery for tremors that he's had for decades. Prayers, please.
Of
Okay, everybody
course.
send prayers for Sam.
For Sam.
Um, I do think the deep brain stim will help a little bit. Will it take them completely away? No, but I do see significant improvement. That's what I pick
Hmm.
up.
I was gonna say I feel like there's improvement from it too, like it being a good therapy for him.
All right. Lorraine Orr. Last evening, it rang in my head that the MIA, many Trumps, may be in Middle East preparing for escape once convictions begin rolling in. I go ahead, Kevin. I'll let you
I
start.
don't really understand the question.
In other words, is he going to um, is Trump going to escape once he's convicted?
I know others have predicted that, but I personally haven't felt that.
I don't
I
see
kind of feel like the health challenges are going to take him out before he could flee, and
that.
he's being watched too closely to flee.
That's what I see too.
Hmm.
Okay. we've touched on this one, but Spirit Animal 1212 said, was Israel behind the helicopter crash of the
No,
Iranian president?
I'm not feeling that.
I'm not feeling it either. I mean, they might try to blame it on Israel,
Mhm.
but I think it was just old, dated equipment, and the parts that they get are, aren't so perfect. And so
Yeah.
I just think it was, that all of their helicopters are really old.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said that the helicopter that crashed was 45 years old, and
Right.
I guess also, like, the weather conditions were really
It
foggy.
was foggy.
I was being told it felt more like a mechanical rather than weather related. Not to say that that maybe didn't,
That's what I
um
pick up. That's what I
mhm.
pick up. And, but actually, I mean, I'm sorry that somebody died,
Yeah,
but, my guys have been telling me for a long time that the Iranian military is really outdated, and the equipment
yeah,
they have is totally outdated, as well as Russia's. So it just makes sense that that helicopter is so outdated, and they're just getting pirated parts, and that some of those parts um, aren't up to snuff. So
yeah,
it makes sense to me. But I don't think Israel or anybody was behind it. But I don't
yeah,
think Iran will admit that it's their own problem with infrastructure. They're not going to
of
say that.
course. Well, and it's anything to kind of escalate something even further, so why wouldn't they use that? Or get their people on their side and get them outraged.
Oh, they're going to use it to escalate it, of course.
Mhm.
Okay, Mona Rogers said, I guess Michael Cohen confessed to stealing money from Orange Idiot. I didn't hear about it, but I got a funny feeling like in closing arguments, the prosecution is going to be able to address that.
Mhm.
And
Well, can I
and
just pull this comment up because
yes,
Jenny's kind of saying that's not exactly what Cohen said. I believe it was about how all of them manipulated the paperwork so that he was getting his bonus instead of a 12-month payout. Yeah, I heard that it had something to do with his bonus being significantly cut. So I don't know all the details if he stole money or if that's how they asked it. So, but
see,
I
that's
like I
what
said,
I
I
was
don't really see
picking
it
up.
affecting the case.
I don't think he would come forward and say that he stole money. I'm thinking that somewhere it got screwed up in the translation,
Uh-huh.
because I don't think it's going to hurt that bad, to be honest with you. It's not going to
Yeah, I
hurt.
don't.
It's not going to hurt the
Has nothing
prosecution.
to do with the case. I mean, sure, you can use it against his credibility, but the fact that the prosecutors already put all the facts out there and just had Michael Cohen come in to, you know, verify the facts from other witnesses. So I don't really see it mattering much.
All righty. Let's see here. Beverly Thompson. Hello, gentlemen. Do you see Biden winning the state of Ohio? I'm gonna let you go with that, Kevin, because of where you live.
I asked the pendulum, but I don't think so.
You don't think he'll win
Now
it?
I do. Apparently, I don't know if this has been resolved, but apparently he's not on the ballot right now. I see Biden being on the ballot in Ohio. Um, to me, it feels like it still like leans red, but I feel like Sherrod Brown, the senator, is going to win this race. If that's
But didn't Biden win Ohio the last time? He did not, right?
no, Trump
Okay.
won Ohio both times he ran.
But it's going to be razor thin in Ohio. That's what I pick up.
Yeah, my pendulum went straight to no.
All
Yeah, I
right.
don't think so.
But ask your pendulum if it's razor thin, because my guides told
I
me
think it will be
razor.
much closer than what it was in the past.
I'm sorry.
It might be. I said I think it will be closer than what it was in the past. I think Trump won Ohio the last time by like 7 or 8 points. I think I'm feeling more around 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's
So
not
it
going to
feels like
be
it's
right.
closer.
But I want to tell you something. The women in Ohio are hopping
Hmm.
mad. And I think if Biden would get out there and really, 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 really campaign in Ohio, that
Yeah,
I see a lot of women coming out to vote, and they're not going to vote for Trump. They're going to vote for Biden, I'm telling you.
yeah,
Or they just won't vote. But
right. Yeah, I still think it's going to lean right. But like I said, good news is I feel like Sherrod Brown keeps his Senate seats. So
okay. Here. Deborah
uh,
Webb, Lorraine, or you may be on to something. Only I'm thinking that Trump is pretty confident of winning November's election, so he not relocate quite so soon. I don't see him leaving. I just don't.
I see it as a plan, like in the back of his mind, like his last resort plan would be him fleeing. But like I said, I feel like he's being watched too much, and the health problems are going to be an issue.
Oh, he thought about that when he was first indicted. Like, I'll just leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, cooked up the scheme. I'll be president so I can pardon myself. Okay. Kathy Reagan's. Hi, Kathy. I want to thank all of our moderators because they do a phenomenal job.
Yes.
And so
we appreciate you, and thank you for saying that, because sometimes it's not always easy to remember to give out shout outs to the moderators, but we do appreciate you, and appreciate all the hard work with keeping our channel safe, and a comfortable environment for everybody. So
Sharon Sipe, Lisa Foster, they all do a great job.
yeah.
Kathy, Kathy, I'm going to give you a free half-hour session. Call my office. That's to say thank you. And the other moderators too. Just everybody don't call at once. Because you guys helped me get to 23,000 and I appreciate it. All right. Hello, fabulous anti-male marvelous Kevin Chandler. My question is about the surprise testimony from the defense in the hush money trial. What do you see as the outcome? I don't know what the surprise testimony was unless it was Costello.
I think it was Costello.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't feel like the defense really did a very good job, and I don't think that the jury is going to find the defense to do a good job. I actually feel like they found the defense to be very aggressive. They weren't a big fan.
Robert House gave us a super sticker. Thank you, Robert. That was so nice of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate
it. Let's see. Christian Martinez, do you see CIA supporting a coup in Iran, however you pronounce it, now that President, I think his name is Raisi, or however you pronounce it, Raisi, is out of office? Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm not picking up a coup right now.
I do.
In a couple of years, maybe.
I do think the CIA is going to be behind creating a lot of turmoil in Iran, and also trying to sponsor a coup at some point, just not right now.
Right, I agree. And thank you, Hilda, for entertainment purposes only.
Thanks, Hilda. Thank you, Hilda, for moderating. Hilda, call my office for a free half-hour session too. Okay, there's Jeff. Hi, Jeff. We already said hi to Jeff, but many psychics don't see Trump around after June, including Kevin. June is almost here. How do you see this unfolding? I'm not feeling him croaking anytime soon. I could be wrong, but my guides have been telling me that he does have to watch his health.
Yeah, and timing's always a bit hard. I've read with other people that feel like something significant happens with his health at June. I don't know if that totally takes him out. Like I said, I haven't seen it clearly, but I feel like come the election, like Trump really isn't a big factor into it. So I don't know.
I pulled a 10 of diamonds, which means illness, and it could mean early death. I don't wish him harm for entertainment purposes only, but he really has to watch his health. That my guys have been telling me that for a long time about him. He looks terrible.
Yeah, he's got to rest. That's what I'm picking up. It's like he's not doing well. This can be a death card in the traditional sense. It's a coffin, but this is taking a step back, resting, retreating, and a bit of isolation too with the hermit, which wouldn't go very well if you have to campaign. Yeah, there's some judgment. There's a wake up call happening for him.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know if it fully takes him out, but
all right, here we go. Kathy Reagan's dynamic duo. My question is, do you both see the Fani Willis trial beginning before November election? My guides have told me yes, that Georgia will be the next one, and my guides have also shown me that the Georgia Supreme Court would not remove her from the case. So,
yeah. Well, I agree with. I don't see her being removed, but I'm not feeling Georgia happening before the election. It feels like it's been delayed for a while. But I actually feel like the January 6th case in D.C. may happen. So I feel another case happening.
I'm just basing it on I'm seeing another trial for him before the election.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I do too. Like I said, it feels like it's a bit of a shock. Like you, it like kind of like the opening's like perfect for it. Like I said, but I feel like it might be DC, the January 6th case.
um, I pulled. I asked about Trump's health again, just for
Mhm.
grins and giggles, and I pulled a four of clubs, and that means illness. Uh, and for a while, it's going to look like that he might be getting some steps ahead in these trials, and also in all these other cases against him for future trials, but he won't
Mhm.
win.
Yeah,
He won't win. I mean, in other words, I see everything coming to trial,
yeah, I
and,
agree.
and convicted with all of them. So
And
okay.
I feel like there's more indictments coming too. I know that we just saw some from Arizona. I feel like before the election, some participants in the January 6th um, that were close to Trump or in Congress, I feel like some indictments coming for them before the election. So there's going to be more drama, more legal challenges before the election.
Okay, I'm just gonna fill this in a little bit. Mary J. McCarthy said, "Will there be another insurrection when Sir SS a lot loses?"
I
Uh,
don't see another insurrection, but I do feel like there's some. I do feel like there's some. I don't want to say violence, but I feel like some protests, some people that are angry. But it doesn't feel like a storming of the Capitol or trying to take over the government or another coup attempt. I don't see that.
I see some acts of violence, but nothing like what happened on January the 6th.
Yeah,
Okay, Mona Rogers. I'm wondering if people will write in Nikki Haley. I
I see
see.
some people writing her in.
So do I. Yes, in some states. Um,
Hmm. And
okay.
it, I think she has. I don't think that she would win because MAGA hates her. Even if something were to happen to Trump, I'm not feeling like Nikki Haley being the nominee. Um, but I feel like there's 25% of the Republican Party that will not vote for Trump. And they're either, I don't know if I feel a lot of them going for Biden, maybe some, but I feel like a lot of them will either write in Nikki Haley or somebody else, or they won't vote. So,
When you said 25%, my first thing was what? But then that's just my male mind. But then
mhm.
my psychic mind went, whoa. And my light bulb went on when you said that. And I got cold chills going up and down my spine, which means truth. So psychically, I feel like your number is right on the money.
Yeah, it feels like it's a good chunk of the Republican Party. And 25% of the Republican Party not voting is huge. I
It's
mean, that's
huge.
huge.
All the Democrats will vote, that's for sure. Uh,
Well, I feel like there are probably some Democrats that aren't very happy with things going on, but I don't think 25% of the Democratic Party is going to vote for the Republican or not vote.
this
Not
election is going to
anywhere
be
close to it.
pretty tight. So the bottom line is everybody, Dems, Republicans, everybody needs to get out and vote. If
Mhm.
all the Democrats vote, uh, it's it's
Yeah.
Katie through the door for I mean Biden will win huge. So everybody, please, please, please vote. Okay,
Yeah.
hey Michelle, thank you for that. $19 and
Thank you,
99
Michelle.
cents. Um, okay. Um, do you see Beto O'Rourke or Beto? I think it's Beto running
Mhm.
this year for public office. I really hope so. I see him holding a high level government position. My guides always tell me that. What do you think, Kevin?
I always felt like he's destined to be a senator. Um, Obviously, it's not going to be this election, but I do feel like there is some. I think to me, it feels more like kind of like working with the Democratic Party in Texas is kind of what I'm feeling, like leadership in there and getting people registered to vote and all of that. But I definitely feel like there's a future for Beto in politics and government. Yes.
All right. Earth Mama says, what about the espionage case? I shoot.
The Florida case. I don't see that
Oh,
happening
mm-mm.
before the election,
I do
unfortunately. But
see.
I do feel that loose cannon will be taken off the case. To me, it feels like in the next couple months, sometime this summer.
I was just going to say that I see Eileen Loose cannon off the case. Aileen,
Mm.
say her name. I forgot what
You've
it's
read your
called,
mind.
mandamus or something. I forget if that's the right term. But
Hmm.
Jack Smith is already playing multi-level chess on this one, and my feeling is that I see the 11th Circuit Court removing her from the case. So, all
Yeah.
right, all right. Well, we've asked this one already, but I'll put it back up. V. Perez said, "Hey, Mel and Kevin, do you see Trump losing the hush money case trial? Folks are worried there will be a hung jury." Well, even if there is a hung jury, there will be another trial and he will be convicted. But go ahead, Kevin. What do you
I'm
think?
not personally picking up on a hung jury. Like I said, I do feel like there may be um, a female, uh, jury member that is kind of causing delays with the verdicts. But to me, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a hung jury. I could be wrong, but regardless, I see him being charged.
Okay, Connie B. Fonnie Willis will be on Rachel Maddow's show tonight and Nathan Wade on Wednesday. Wow. So everybody
Mm, I
watch.
did see. I did
I
see
didn't know
Bonnie will
that.
be
Oh, I gotta watch it
on
and
Rachel
see.
Maddow tonight in about 13 minutes.
Oh wow. So let's see. We gotta hurry up and wrap this up so everybody can watch.
Can
Okay.
I just say real quick? I see that we have 1,200 people watching. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank
Please
you.
do
Yeah,
us a
everybody.
favor. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. All really helps, and we appreciate it, you guys.
Thank you. And thank you everybody for your support, for your wonderful support. Um, okay. Edie Doherty says, "Hello, fabulous fellows." Well, thank you. That's nice.
Thank you.
Uh, you both. What will happen to Trump's mental health? Padded room when he loses in November. What do you think, Kevin?
I feel this is where it's hard because I don't know if it's actually like determined where the energy is going to go. Because for a long time, I always felt like Trump wouldn't be in jail, but he would be in like a medical facility, like a white room, like a padded white room, where he was kind of isolated from the world. But now I feel like the health might take him out before that. So I don't know. But we can see his mental health is not very good and rapidly deteriorating. I've said for a while, even when he was president, I feel like there's some dementia there, and all the stress is really, um, really,
I
there's been
think
a
so
big
too.
decline since then.
I think so too. I think, Trump doesn't like to lose. So once again, oh, it was rigged. It was a trial. It was a Democratic conspiracy. Blah blah blah. We need Alec
Right.
Baldwin right now to do Trump on Saturday Night Live. That's what we need. All right. Who will certify the election in 2025, Johnson or Jeffries?
I'm
That's
being pulled at Jeffries. I feel like it'll be Jeffries.
um, I
We'll
don't know
see.
if it is Johnson. If Trump tried to tell him don't certify it, Johnson would not listen because he's not going to want to go to jail for pulling some BS like that. Because I
I
think
don't
by
think
law, they have to certify what the electors turn in. Now, that brings up a question, Kevin. Do you think that they'll try that whole fake elector thing again? My guides had told me they would try that, and man, it happened. I was like, whoa,
Mhm. Well, and Johnson was a part of that.
yeah, that's right.
He was a part of it, so what would stop him from doing it again? I do see a few of them trying it, but it doesn't feel like it's what it was in the past. It does not feel like it's successful. Like I said too, I feel like Jeffries I see Johnson out sooner rather than later, and I actually think his, little stunt with going and kissing the ring in New York, um, Democrats won't save him next time, so they shouldn't have saved him the first time, in my opinion,
That
but
was like crazy. It's like almost like kissing the ring of the dawn. I mean, this is not
mhm.
mafia. Come on. Okay. Because Johnson wants to be vice president. Okay. Spirit animal question. Do you see J Lo and Ben Affleck divorced? I use my pendulum. You know what? I don't like to answer
I
questions like
know.
that. I'm sorry, because I think that's their personal life, and I don't really want to get into their personal life.
I don't typically do the celebrity stuff either, but I'll just say I kind of feel like them already kind of separated at the moment. So take that, what you will, if that means divorce or if they're just not living together as a partnership.
Spirit animal, I'm sorry, I'm not being mean about that. I just make a rule. I never answer questions about the celebrities' personal lives. I just
Mhm.
think I just don't want to be intrusive in their personal lives. Okay. Yellyman, will President Biden have a successful second term in office?
Very successful.
Absolutely. I hear
I
absolutely.
feel like I feel like us keeping the House and the Senate. I see them making changes to the filibuster, which needed to be done a long time ago. Where I don't know if it's totally getting rid of the filibuster, or if they turn it more into a talking filibuster, where you don't need it's 51 votes to pass something, but people can delay it and debate it. I'm kind of feeling that, but I feel a lot of really positive, um, you know, um, things getting through, and even some guardrails for our government and democracy. So,
That's what I see, like rules for the filibuster, and I like that word guardrails.
mhm.
Yeah, new regulations, new rules to keep a lot of the BS that happened from happening again. So,
Mhm.
okay. Um, all good names taken. All good names taken. I like that. That is really clever. Hello, gentlemen. Will a good economy help Biden to win? Absolutely.
Mhm.
Um,
I still feel like, well, I mean, the economy is good now. I mean, look at the stock market. Look at you know, the employment rate. But the thing is that people aren't feeling it because of the inflation, which a lot of that is price gouging. And we're going to see, I think, especially with like gas prices, anytime a Democrat's in office and an election comes up, what happens? The gas prices skyrocket because
absolutely.
they want to manipulate the election. So I do feel like there is some things that people aren't happy with, um, but I think overall the economy feels good to me.
Okay. Ice Wolf. Oh, I like the name of that. We'll look at the power grid in some states, and will they cancel voting in some states because of everything down, blaming it on a solar flare? No, I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see the power grid going down, but I do think that the solar flares are. I think that that's why me and Mel couldn't go live last Thursday because they've been so intense lately. But I
Yeah,
don't see it causing like a huge power grid issue.
they affect
Um,
weather, communication, stuff like that.
they can affect the electrical grid, but I don't know if I feel like a massive one. I don't see like a massive
I don't,
blackout.
I don't see that either. Okay. Clarence Fields. Will Biden win back the Latino vote? I feel yes. I don't think he ever
Mhm.
lost it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Trump, I think, was getting it up higher, but I see Biden still winning the Latino vote. Absolutely.
But I just because it looks like he's getting it higher now doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm not
Because
talking about polling. I'm talking about the last election. If you look at the
well, I see. Got
statistics,
it. But there's so
I
many,
think he did
but
win
there's
more.
so many months between now and the election. I mean, we've got June, July, August, September,
Hmm.
October. There's like 5 months. A lot can happen, you know?
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
um, all right. This is a good one. I don't see any more stars, so I'll go here.
I just started a couple.
Okay, let me
But
get back
this
to
time we
start.
can do the.
Um, Sabrina Ellen says one's fawn in pants
Mhm.
gets
I don't
convicted.
think that we're going to go to YouTube jail if you say it. If you want to,
Oh, that's all right.
there's other worth words.
Uh, excuse me 1 second. It never fails when I'm doing YouTube. Somebody calls me.
Oh, I know. I had somebody call me too.
Um, we'll just call him Scheisser. That's not good
Mm.
in German. Once von Scheisser gets convicted of all these crimes, will his presidency be deemed illegitimate and wiped off the records? Well, just because he's convicted of crimes doesn't mean his presidency wasn't valid. But at some point, years from now, I think they're going to say that it wasn't valid because they're going to be able to prove that there was undue interference. So
Hmm.
that's
But
what I.
you can't wipe him off the records because even if he was an illegitimate president, he still served a term. But I do see the history books in the future, this being a very sad time in our history, saying that, he was president illegitimately. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's
And
see.
I think Trump will already be well gone by the time
So
that
do
all
I, actually. Okay, Edie Doherty says, do you all see Gen Z actually voting this November? Yes, I do.
Mhm.
I know they don't like their choices, but I remain hopeful. I see them most of them voting for Biden. I really do.
Mhm.
What do you think,
Yeah,
Kevin?
I do too. I think that there are some that aren't very excited about Biden, but I think overall how important this election is, and I feel like this summer there being a lot of momentum, really kind of getting a little bit more energy into the younger voters. I don't see it being a major issue. I do see Gen Z coming up to vote.
And not voting is a vote for Trump.
Exactly.
Okay,
It
let's see.
doesn't feel like it's quite like the energy that Obama had when he was running. Remember all that huge momentum and everything, but it feels like it's similar to that kind of
Well,
energy.
Obama's going to get out and campaign his butt off for
Oh,
Biden.
absolutely.
I mean, they
Absolutely.
all are. Um, okay. Will Trump ever get to nominate a VP or will he become ill? That's Flora D. Now, I
I
see
see
him.
him nominating a VP, and I think in the next couple weeks.
Me too. Okay, we got time for just a few more.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Dwight Lindgren says, do you see any more storms like the one that hit Houston, Texas?
Yeah.
Yes. Huge
And I
storm.
and I actually feel like Texas having a bit of a hard time with the weather this year.
Um, my guides have told me that Texas, certain states are going to get really hit by lots of tornadoes, lots of
I
huge
see
hurricanes coming.
I see hurricane. I feel flooding.
Me too. By the way, real quick, I want to say um, our sincerest sympathies to and condolences to Regina Brannock.
Oh yeah.
Regina is Linda Grendel's cousin, and Regina's part of the Comanche Nation, and I met her in Sedona. It was 2 or 3 years ago, and she
Mm,
just was an absolute angel. She was
mm,
just the most wonderful human being, and she had amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. That's Lou Gehrig's disease.
mm,
And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's a progressively deteriorating neurological disease. So you become a prisoner in your own body.
yeah.
And when Regina was in Sedona 2 or 3 years ago, she was just diagnosed. Um, and, the disease is always fatal. And she just passed away a few days ago. So Linda is in um, Oklahoma, and the funeral was today. And so Linda sent me videos of it. And everybody just please send healing energy to Regina's family. Regina is absolutely an angel and still is. And I'm sure
Mm,
she's watching over all of us now from the other side.
yeah,
She
absolutely.
was just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And when I had cancer, I was like, what am I going to do? Blah, 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 blah. And I said another little prayer to Spirit. And I never said this before tonight. Um, it came through, Regina came into my mind, and that she had
Mm,
this debilitating, most horrible disease. At the end, she couldn't eat. She was on, feeding tubes. She had a trach
yeah,
tube, all of that.
sad.
Um, and she couldn't even get out of bed. She couldn't get out of bed. But what a warrior she was, and
Mm,
what an inspiration to all of us. And her sister Sue, hi Sue, hi Jim, hi Dan, hi Linda, hi Deb. Her sister Sue told me that even when she was really sick, Sue would call, and Regina would say, "Oh, we're living the life. We're just sitting around watching TV and doing this and doing that." Even with this horrible, debilitating disease, she always kept a positive attitude,
mm,
and that helped me get through my cancer. Thinking of her,
yeah,
so um, I don't want to cry, but our condolences go out to Regina's family.
yeah. Sending them a lot of love.
Um, all right. Let's see. Okay, we got time for one more, I think.
All right.
Brooke Monfort says, student loan forgiveness. How much does Biden need to do? I think he's
Um,
already done a lot.
yeah, I see more though. I
So do
see,
I.
I don't feel like it's a total write-off of student loans, I'm sorry to say, but I kind of feel like what he originally planned in a second term, he'll get done. What was that, like 10,000 or 20,000 if you had Pell Grants? That it feels more along the lines with that. But I also see him and Democrats really addressing the main issues of the interest rates for the student loans and getting those more affordable, but then also kind of going after some of these big colleges that are, really overcharging and getting the prices a little bit more affordable too.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Is I see them going after these interest rates, which were really juice loans. And
Hmm.
I see students being able to go to college and once again for very, very low interest rates, and they'll be government backed. So, that's they need to invest money in our education system. They really do.
Absolutely.
That is our future. Okay, one
And I
more.
don't think it's necessarily right too that, the government can make money off of all the interest.
Absolutely.
Um, when we're getting people out there and getting them trained to do, jobs for our economy. So
Okay. Lisa Foster. I got to say hi to Lisa, my girlfriend in Fairdale, Kentucky. Hi, Lisa. She
hey,
said,
Lisa.
this is our last one. How
All
is
right.
Bill Clinton's health? What do you think, Kevin?
I did get a bit of a hit that there might be some health issues for him this year. I don't think that it's happened yet. He's had heart issues in the past, hasn't he?
I think when he was president or after, because he was eating too many hamburgers, like
Okay.
myself, he had triple bypass surgery, but then he went on a really, really strict diet. And I think he
Hmm.
watches his diet really carefully now. And I think, he might have a few little hiccups with the cardiac arrhythmia, but I'm feeling like he's not ready to cross over. And I certainly don't think he's senile, like they tried to say when Hillary was running. He's going to be
Right.
for quite a while.
I do get though that there's a bit of downtime, like solitude and resting and relaxing for him. Like
But
maybe
you know
feeling a
what?
bit
My guy
tired.
just told me he's going to be very, very vocal in speaking up against Trump. Really vocal.
Hmm.
So, all right,
Yeah, if
everybody.
you somebody
This,
said Bill Clinton's been a vegan for years now. Yeah, I
yep,
feel like there is something there where it kind of he's a little fatigued,
right.
but not
Okay.
quite yet.
This coming Thursday, we won't be here because I'll be in Nebraska. But then
Mm,
the following Thursday, we'll be on Kevin's show. So,
yes,
everybody, all right. So,
looking
Kevin, what do
forward
you
to
have
it as
coming up
always.
lately?
I have a solo show tomorrow. Next Monday, I have my members live where I do many personal questions. We just had our Reiki and prayer group circle last week, so we have that coming up next Monday at 8 p.m. East, 7 p.m. Eastern. No, it's not next Monday. I'm sorry, it's next Wednesday because it's Memorial Day. 7 p.m. Eastern.
All right. All right, my friend, you stay well, and I'll look forward to our next show.
Yes, me too, Mel. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody.